Commissioner, we're out here in beautiful Anthem, and I thought this would be, and I know you did as well, this would be a great area because of the proposed Sloan gravel pit, which appears to be dead at this point, thanks to your help, Senator Reid, and of course the concerned citizens in this area. Let's talk a little bit about this proposed Sloan gravel pit.
We've made a lot of progress on the gravel pit in Sloan, and this just goes to show you, Randy, what a group of citizens can do. Constituents, when they get together, they band together and decide that they have an issue that's important to them, that they're passionate about. They came to me with this issue a couple years ago already, and we worked very closely with then Congresswoman Titus and Congresswoman Berkeley, and Senator Reid has been way out front in terms of advocating for these constituents. I flew back to Washington and testified. It's been a great process thus far. It's made it through the committee, which is a big plus. It's a positive. Now we have to wait to decide if the Congress is going to pass the bills as a whole or they're going to go individually later in the year. But for right now, it's certainly on the train, and the train is moving on the track, so that's a good thing.
Everyone seems to be in agreement. And again, let's maybe just a little history on this, or it was a 640-acre gravel pit that was going to operate 24/7 for up to 30 years. And again, that's clearly 4 or 5 miles away from here, but that would affect the quality of life out here in Anthem and in Henderson.
Oh, that would have affected everyone's quality of life in the area. One, for the property values. Two, there were a lot of health-related concerns with that much blasting and mining going on. There are schools nearby that we're worried about the quality of air for the school kids. The safety, there's a preservation area out there, at Sloan, and a lot needed to be done. And like I say, it was a heavy lift, but the Senator's office has just been absolutely magnificent in terms of advocating for these citizens. Like I said, they had petitions, they wrote letters, wore T-shirts. I mean, this was really a groundswell of support. This is grassroots at its very best, and I really believe it's a testament to just what can happen when citizens decide they want to get involved in the process and they want something to change, and it worked.
I know Mr. Rich Miller and his family were some of the leaders on that, and again, sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 individual concerned citizens to bring this to your attention, to bring this to elected officials' attention.
You're absolutely right. I remember the first couple of meetings that we had with Mr. Miller and some of the other advocates in Henderson, and they were terrific. I mean, they went door to door. They stood at shopping centers gathering signatures. They explained to people. We had countless town hall meetings in Henderson talking about this, and they just kept working. They wouldn't take no for an answer. They kept making phone calls. They kept sending fax. They kept writing letters. It was absolutely terrific, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them, and we're not there yet, but we're well on our way, and hopefully things will go through this time all the way through, and it'll be signed and be withdrawn from the BLM property disposal, and this will be done.
Nice work, Commissioner. Thank you. And okay, I know in Laughlin there's a solar project down there, Chinese company, ENN. I mean, these numbers are unbelievable. The board has agreed to negotiate with them. 5,400 acres of land, 4,000 construction jobs, 2,000 permanent jobs that will pay an average of $72,000. The total project is estimated to cost $4 to $6 billion. That's 2 Bellagios being built potentially out there in Laughlin.
It's absolutely incredible. I was down in Laughlin last week. We had a big community meeting about the project. A couple hundred people attended. It's been terrific. Senator Reid, again, who's our strongest advocate, I guess, came to me with the idea of this project and sent ENN in to meet me. We've met numerous times, met with their legal counsel. They brought in their entourage from Beijing. We met with them. Met with a banker that's financing this entire project. This isn't a financing necessary deal. They have the money to do the project. And the most exciting thing about this is, one, certainly the renewable and the green energy is important to all of us. The most exciting thing to me, Randy, is the jobs. I mean, we've got, well, unemployment might be 14 and 15%. We're looking at in the trades industries, it's 40, 50, 60%. The people have been out of work. And we're looking at bringing 4,000 people in to build the plant. And for a change, we're going to manufacture something in Southern Nevada. It's not just going to be a service industry and providing the solar. We're actually going to build, their intentions are to build a plant with from 3 to 6 lines on it that will manufacture these photovoltaic panels to use on the solar farm. Now, it'll take 2 to 3 years to manufacture enough panels to just fill this farm up. But after that's done, they intend to continue the operation and export these panels to other areas where they're going to build other facilities. And then we're looking at, the permanent jobs in this plant, like you say, a couple thousand jobs, which is enormous. To have that many good paying jobs down in Laughlin, who has suffered beyond measure, the downturn in Laughlin. And there's a lot of other things that go with this. Once one thing starts, you've got to bring some infrastructure into the property, so that's going to take some more roads being built, bringing some water in, some pipelines, some electricity. So it's just going to build upon itself, and hopefully this will be the first of many projects on the Laughlin area and get people back to work and get our economy turned around.
And this is those two words, economic diversification, are always what we're always looking for to break the mold from our traditional industries.
Right, and this is something that every politician, everybody talks about. You know, we need to diversify. We need to come up with other businesses, other industries, so we're not just solely focused on tourism and gaming. And this is the real deal. This is finally happening. While everybody talks about it, this is now a real project. It's something that we've got a good chance of getting on. What we've done now, we've entered, as you said, into the ENA, the exclusive negotiating agreement with ENN. There's appraisers out appraising the property right now, which is a difficult process in and of itself. There's not a lot of comparables. If you appraise the house across the street, you find one down the block and you appraise it to it. There's not a lot of other like properties that they're going to be able to use as comparables on this. So we're getting appraisals, the company's getting appraisals, and then we'll be able to move forward with negotiating what a fair price would be and how much of that money we can put into bringing some infrastructure out to the property and get going. My hope was that we get things going as quickly as possible. They committed to me that they intend to use Nevada workers. That's a real important thing to me. I didn't want workers being brought in from Utah and Colorado and California. While I understand that they have unemployment problems there, they're not as severe as ours are in Clark County. And we need to get our people back to work. They've committed to me that they're going to use local labor in building this project. And even better than that, they want to get shovels in the ground in the first quarter of 2012 to build this plant. So we're looking 6 months from now. We could actually be turning dirt if everything falls into place. So it's a real exciting opportunity.
And what was the genesis of this? I know this company, as you say, they have deep pockets and have plenty of opportunity, and they site surveyed or decided that Laughlin was a great area for them?
They site surveyed. They toured the entire Southwest, you know, Arizona, California, Nevada, and came upon Laughlin and saw that. One thing is it's difficult to find this much acreage assembled at one time, you know, to be able to put it together without buying a bunch of little pieces and assembling the property, the parcel. They found the parcel there and that the climate is extremely conducive in Laughlin, the sunshine. So, and we're going to do whatever we can. I told them that we'll take down every barricade and we'll build bridges in order to make this work. And they were very enthusiastic. They have got a great lobbying team and attorneys on their side in terms of moving the process forward and going through the bureaucratic nightmare that sometimes exists with these sort of processes. And I conveyed to them that I'm committed to doing whatever we can. Our staff has been absolutely terrific, from comp planning to the DA's office, in terms of advocating for this and getting this thing moving, because every day is a delay in somebody else going to work, and that's what we need to stop.
Commissioner, maybe you could bring us up to date on the proposed wind farm out at Searchlight. I know there was a series of public meetings, and Duke Energy winnowed down their project, some 80 turbines, going to be possible wind farm out in Searchlight. Could you bring us up to date on that project?
That one's taking a little slower track. I don't think that'll be done. Hopefully the solar project in Laughlin will be done ahead of that. You know, there was a lot of time spent getting the neighbor buy-in and Searchlight, making that move forward. Hopefully that'll come to fruition. But these projects, Randy, what you have to realize, it takes years from the idea, the conception, to when it's actually built and it's up and functioning. And that's in the queue, so to speak, with projects moving forward. I've probably had 15 or 20 in the last 2 years, companies coming to me with ideas for solar and wind farms. That's pretty far along, but it's not there yet. And we just need to continue to move these things forward as quickly as we possibly can.
And bringing it all the way home then to the Las Vegas Strip, there's still arena proposals, Ferris wheel proposals. So there are plenty of opportunities here and plenty of out-of-the-box thinking people that still want to invest in Clark County, and there's money to be made here and jobs to be had and people to use these things.
You're absolutely right. And why, you know, I use this in a lot of times when I get to speak to neighborhood groups and community groups. So if you look at this as a title fight, we got knocked down, but we're certainly not out. We got back up, and there's a lot of job opportunities coming. If you're looking at the solar and the wind turbine farms, you're looking at the potentials of arenas, you're looking at the high-speed trains that are being talked about. The Strip seems to be picking up just a little bit now. At least we've stabilized. We're not moving any further down. So there is opportunity out there, and I think that we have a brighter future coming ahead of us. And once we start turning the corner, it builds upon itself. Once you can put people back to work, then they can go out and they can get a new car, and then they can go buy new clothes, and they can go to a restaurant and go to eat. So then they have to hire another waitress or a busboy. So those are all positive things, and it'll build upon itself. My theory has been government doesn't create jobs. The government has to assist the private industry in creating their own jobs, and that's what these are. These projects are private projects that the government needs to partner with them and make it possible in terms of eliminating a lot of the bureaucratic red tape and the nightmares that keep developers from doing things. So that's what we're committed to doing.